can put our differences aside. And I offer my extension to prayer, and I pray now. Hamni nini hamnya, hamni nini hamnya, hamni nini hamnya, hamni nini hamnya. All right.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Welcome, guys. Welcome to another session, another live stream here on the Chaos Rain Show. I am Chaos Rain here, as always. Like always, here with another one and another one. And I'm just looking at some things. Okay. All right. For those that is new to the Chaos Rain Show, welcome. As you know, YouTube, what it does constantly, it's part of the program. I hate it, but love it in the same time, if it makes sense. That sometimes they will either, keep my subscribers up, or they'll just start slowly removing people. It is what it is. I have no answer for that, people. For those that, let's say, like Chaos Rain Show or not, they do this repeatedly. And as you can tell, the way the growth of the channel is very determined by not only with your help and maybe your support, but also it is reflected on YouTube for a reason. And so for those that, let's say, you want to watch the brother or see where I stand or grow on YouTube or the channel entirely, if you're not subscribed to the Chaos Rain Show, please hit that red button, hit the top bell, notification bell for uploads and live streams here on the Chaos Rain Show. All right, the links to follow me are the following before I begin. You can follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7. You can add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. Also, follow my Rumble page as well. I might put some content on Rumble again. I'm not sure when, but I'll pick up something to put some content over there. I have one right there. Right now, if you didn't check it, please go to Rumble. I will put the link. Actually, no, I think I'll put the link. I will put the link to the channel. You watch all the videos that's on Rumble right now. I think one of them is when my good friend Mr. Dawa Yisrael, he kind of died or transitioned back in almost the winter time of 2022, roughly. Yeah. So he's been gone now, which is gonna mark 2 years in the next couple months. But he was a good brother, and I've done many streams with him, with his knowledge and his fight, not only about understanding systems, but really truly he had some very controversial views that got him banned on certain platforms, even on YouTube when he started doing content on YouTube. And if he was still around today, I think he would be on Rumble, personally. But it is what it is, we live in, and we do the best we can while we're here, and that's all that's required, So other than that, yeah, you'll find that video and many other content that can't be much played here on YouTube, or I could put on YouTube if I wanted to. Go check me out on CRain23, my Rumble handler. Also, join my Discord service as well. It's pinned in the description of this and many other videos here on the Chaos Rain Show as well. And last but not least, become a member of the Chaos Rain Show as well. I would surely appreciate it. All right, so let me stop this while I'm playing right now because I don't want to get distracted. You know how it is. Let me stop the Discord. Free my thing. Okay, I think that's it. And y'all can all hear me well right now. And let me see if I forgot anything else on here before I begin. Okay, I like to go through, Oh, and another thing, likes are free, so make sure you hit the like button. And one last thing, and we always want to reach the goal of 50 supporters, donors to the Chaos Rain Show. But you know the drill, you know what the time it is, people. I won't be right if I don't ask this.
Money. I told you.
Where is my money?
Benny, bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
What do you mean everyone?
Everyone!
You bring me everyone. All super chats or cash apps will be appreciated here in the Chaos Rain Show. As you know, as always, for the better growth of the platform and other endeavors. So please support the channel by any means. And normally, if we get more people watch and I get a few supports, I will open the chat open for everybody else to chat on. So no further ado, let's get on with the subject at hand. I think this is an important subject, and it needs to be evaluated and needs to be talked. Now, one thing I did not get a chance to do was to pull up the picture. Actually, I will do y'all guys one better. Let me see if I'm able. Let me hold on a second. Let me see if I can try this. Because I did see I can say video, but it's more than a video. Where is it? Let me delete these. Where is that video? All right. I'm not gonna play this video. I'm gonna show an image, and it's very much an important image. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, yeah, this is good. I'm gonna snippet this image because I think this is important. It is very important. There we go. Oh, damn it. Hold on. I don't want to start the video off yet. I want to do this. Ah, perfect. And getting good. All right. So I got this picture now. Let's get started. Let this be seen, people. All right, guys. Make sure you get your mics up. Make sure you got your earbuds ready, close to the mic. It's up. Hear this well, and with commentary. No further ado. Let's begin. Enjoy this, and let's deal with the fair use.
Yes. Is the last 2 years where your faith has been tested the most?
For sure. Not this past year. This past year, I'm like, Lord, I know you're going to do what you do, and I trust you. And making sure that I was there to give that to Jonathan. That's what I felt that
That's
I was
support.
there to do. Yeah. My faith has never wavered in that, in that instance. But going through the divorce, that shook me to my core. I was just like, but Lord, you asked me to be celibate, and I was. You told me who to marry. I married that person. I try to do everything to the best of my ability, and no, I didn't do everything perfect, but I don't.
But what you did not do to the best of your ability because you married a pastor. And it's no surprise or any clues why Devon Franklin divorced his wife. And at the end, after divorce, he is in tears and emotions of divorcing. And I'm going to agree with my good brother, Mr. Andre. It's going to come to a point as gentlemen, wherever age you are, wherever status, or wherever you are in life, man, it's more suiting that we have to end these relationships that don't serve or isn't our best interest in the long run. And I know this is hard, especially if you're in a marriage where we hear the notion a lot of men don't divorce. Hell, a good portion of black men don't really divorce at all. And the reason why it is because we don't want to pay the, in lack of better terms, we don't want to pay this. And that's just the on-shoot why you don't see a lot of men, some of us black men in general, are not in the business of divorcing. And I call it cap, personally, we should emphasize more of divorcing if any woman, if it doesn't suit us. Yeah, I noticed that too. I noticed that too. Yeah, I see. I get you. But you gotta understand, these women talk about God, spirituality, this nonsense. It's all fluff. It's word dogma. It's bullish, man. And obviously, this is gonna be a clean stream today as best as possible. Usually, if I get no support, I will be more lenient to use more foul language, but for the sake of conversation, I'm gonna have to keep it clean. Yeah, I know the drill. But anyhow, she was married to this man for over a decade. And now she goes into, and she don't want to talk about details, whatever the case may be. Okay, that's cool. But we already know why. And we could tell why. Because no man that's married to you, Miss Good, for this long, and then he decided just to call it quits after 10 years. there's always reason why if a man, especially a black man, not just any man, a black man decided to throw in the towel. And this is something that we as men, if you're a black man in nature or whatever that's watching this stream in general, I can't speak for other groups of men. Other groups of men, they know what to do. But let's say for black men, because this is a thing that I find common. You're going to have to start ending these relationships, and you might have to start divorcing. As much as I don't want to say it, it makes better sense for your growth as a man move forward in life. So let's keep listening on. Fairies.
Don't know that I could have done anything different, if I'm being honest. And so I was just like, why is this happening? My greatest fear was for my husband to leave me after 10 years of marriage, the way that my dad and my mom separated. And that's exactly what happened.
But your mom ended the relationship. You didn't end the relationship. You stayed because in your mind, I'm be honest with you, you stayed because Devon Franker is the best you can get. Now, I'm not saying that Megan never ended relationships. For a woman like of her wits, her background, we can even go as far as pedigree. She has, have a number of men in her life that she's been with for a while. In 42 going on 43 years of life. Because she is, I think she's a Leo. I think so, yeah. Her birthday's either coming up or something. Yeah, you've been in these relationships for a long time. Some long lasting, some short, whatever. And it come to find out that this one ended after a decade. And then you in your mind don't know why, or why you think God might end this relationship, or even go as far as what you think you might have did wrong. There are many things you've done, sweetie, wrong that I think Devon has emphasized this during the 10 years in this relationship. And I think in his mind, and one thing I noticed, you got married at 30. Why are you and Devon been in a marriage so long, and not one time a child has come forth in this union? Last one check, I think, how old was Devon when he got married? Devon was probably, if my math is right, 31, 32 years of age when he married you. You were 31 at the time. Back in 2012, I believe. Yes. You guys got married in 2012, roughly. I think roughly, yeah. I think I'm right, yeah. And throughout that time period, not one child out of this. So it seemed to me, one of the few things like any husband and wife, children is always the stamp of any further connection, much less the union between man and woman. Now we hear always complaints about a lot of these chicks out here are having babies, no ring into it, or no ring of any importance. I get it, but the problem is most modern women today, and I'll be honest today, are not focusing or really thinking about getting married like that. Like really like that. I mean, if you look at the last episode or last broadcast I did here with the Pop the Balloon, when a man was talking about, he was looking for potentially to have more kids and maybe be married. 2 women out of that whole set of 7 or 8 women on that Pop the Balloon, 2 of them popped the balloon after he said he not only has another kid, but he wants to get married. So it tells right there, most women don't seek marriage as any significance today. Matter of fact, they're gonna look at you funny if you brought even the sense of marriage today to them, which is fine. But here's the problem. If you're not seeking to be a wife, then what is your purpose in these relationships? Because first of all, if a man is a certain age or he's in a certain place mentally, spiritually, and maybe financially in life, he wants a woman that he want to call his and make a good wife to him, and start either already life or create his own life with her. Either or, you have to be that woman that he's seeking. And I think most women today today, as it stands, don't value marriage, much as want to be married. Now, a lot of people say that I can't say it. And I say, if I'm wrong, prove it. What age do you see yourself getting married? And if anything beyond, or you hear gentlemen, they talk about a certain age where they're at the wall stage, you turn around and you go the other direction, gentlemen. It is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, some men will take some women that is maybe 30, maybe. But overall, most men are not going to sit there. If they don't got kids and you don't got kids and you're a certain age, they might not be so eager to start a family with you, roughly. I mean, it is what it is. Anyhow, let's listen on more onto the conversation. Fair use.
And it was just like, I don't understand this. And so it was a lot of prayer, a lot of evaluation, a lot of learning about myself even. It was a lot of realizing the place that we both were in. It was a lot of just like rediscovering God and realizing that sometimes the way that we see or understand things, it's not that it's not true, it's just you do come into different seasons. And I had to accept that if this isn't something I've chosen, but it's something that God has allowed, then God has allowed it for a good reason. And I think that we both have grown from it tremendously. I think that now, I think that at the time I was so mad at Devon, but now I think what he did was very brave. And I think that it was a very scary thing to know that the church and all the people, everyone was going to be like, well, this is not what a man of God or a woman of God does, you know. Right. And of course, there were a lot of people who were like, well, Megan must have done something. And I'm like, what? You know.
But that's what it is. Listen. You see, this is why we can't have these honest conversations. And this is why I don't like these interviews. And we're going to talk about the business. Let's keep real. Not only for the public's sake, but in general, you gotta be honest with yourself. Oh, hold on, guys. You gotta be honest with yourself. And I think a lot of women are not honest with themselves. I am. You know what I'm saying? That's why you hear always when these relationships really go bad, if we want to be honest, we always hear that something the man did wrong and all this nonsense, this stupidness, and I get it. But come on. Let's be fair and honest here. Not everything, most times, okay, or wherever times, is always the man's fault in general. In my opinion, I wholeheartedly believe. Usually, in most relationships, there is halfway, half and half, 50 this, 50 that, on both sides. But you see, when we're hearing Megan, it's not like she's putting the blame, but it seemed to me when I'm hearing the conversation that when you hear other people talking about saying why a man of God is divorcing you, and you're shocked and surprised, and you're talking about saying, that's not what then what is the reason? We want to know. Generally, you aren't sitting in Shannon Sharp's chair. We want to have an understanding. And really, this will bring more further context for future young ladies that are going to be, let's say, in your shoes or just in general, to set precedents to modern women today that, I do hold accountability, that these are things I did wrong in my marriage with my husband. I'm telling you now, so this will learn this for any other future woman, so that it holds some sense of understanding, accountability. So that way, most men, when they watch this, they say there are some black women out there, like a Megan Good, say that she did some wrong. We're hoping that she'll grow and actually learn from this and actually take this as a learning lesson and be better. But as we see, and I'll show you some pictures right now that I'm hearing that picture circling right now because she's in a relationship with Jonathan Majors. I mean, it don't seem like she really learned anything at all. Let me see. A lot of modern women just are not raised for marriage. That's it. Yeah, I mean, I think the reason why they're not raised because they think a man is not really a necessity, much as they don't see the value of men or even listening or being around men's, leadership or whatever you want to call it, because in this called Black culture, it's not really allowed. They keep the power. Say if the woman's not ahead or pushing the strings and buttons, it is not considered a relationship. Hell, it's not even considered a communion out from here. That's what it boils down to. All right, so let's keep listening, guys. Fairies.
But I think that in order to grow to the place that we've grown, I think we absolutely were supposed to be married for that amount of time. And I think we got the best and the benefit out of it. And I think he taught me a lot and I taught him a lot. And we took a lot, we gave a lot. But we're still friends. And as he said, the love is, transitioned into something else, but it's still love. And I don't regret anything. And I'm super thankful for the time that we were married. And I'm super thankful for what I learned. And I think that I love now in a different capacity, because when your absolute worst fear happens, now there's nothing to be afraid of anymore.
In that situation, you like, I prayed for this. I was everything, God, everything you asked me to do, I did.
Yeah.
Did you feel at that moment that as the marriage is starting to dissolve, did you feel like a failure?
No, I don't think so, because I...
God damn it! You can't make this shit up! God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
And that's the point. There's the point. No self-reflection. I'm not sure if I want to call it accountability, but there's no emphasis or just a sense of rationalization or reality that. And a lot of people say that Devon broke up his home. I disagree. He made an executive decision, and he had to cut ties. That's as simple as what we've seen that happened 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, actually. There's nothing coming out of this marriage. I think, and a lot of people say that Megan was more focused to be a actor than being a wife, and which is possibly true. I'm not gonna deny that, guys. I'm not gonna deny it at all. But the problem is, once you actually marry into this union, you have to play a role as best as possible. And for her to not really be honest with herself, think that this is not a failure, this is delusion. Now, this is why we have to be very careful as men. We got to get out of this program that really, truly, I'm being honest with y'all. And I know this not going to be favored and people are going to get turned off. And yeah, it is what it is. Let's be honest. But I'm going to keep real with y'all. Her admitting this, and she's confident, tells you she was not really invested to becoming the best wife possible. I mean, literally, and this is the reason why these conversations, these interviews, if I'm gonna ask a question, we're gonna be honest here. We're not gonna sit there tiptoeing in the toilets, because if the shoes were on the other foot and a man's sitting there and then a man was asking the same question, he's gonna be blunt honest about his success and possibly the failure of this marriage. You're not gonna hear now one time my woman really admit why her marriage failed. And she is an actor. But she is like one of many modern women today that don't think that it's not their fault. Can you believe that? All right, let's keep going. Fair use, fair use.
I feel like we had almost 10 successful years of marriage. I feel like I got so much from it that has made me better and has helped me grow. And I feel that he feels the same way.
Right.
So I don't feel like it was a failure by any means. I just didn't understand it because I was like, but this, you say forever, it means forever,
Right.
you know, and that wasn't the case, you know. But I think that part is the part that I struggle with the most because I would have never gotten a divorce under any circumstances.
Really?
And I don't know if that's always the right thing,
Right.
you know. And it's not that anything bad was going on, nobody was cheating, nothing like, you know. And I won't get into why we divorced,
Right.
but I don't know if being
Oh no, we have an idea why divorce happened. We don't need no more further details. We can see the outcomes of the whole entire marriage in its entirety, and it's been evident that you just didn't uphold your end of the bargain. It's that simple. That's how most men, including me, how we view it. Sorry. Now, if it's something that was cheating, you know, that's obviously it'll be shown, and that can't be hidden. But we all know it's something more than just the cheating part that might end this relationship. I mean, where was it really going? You know, like really, where is it really going? And that's something that your husband, your partner, or your actual husband thinks in his mind after being it for this long, and don't see no really actual outcome of this. You know, now a lot of people say that, you know, if you're gonna be married to any woman, modern woman especially, it better if you let your demands be up front and be clear of what your intention is or what you want outcome of this, not only this relationship, but if it goes as far as marriage, where it needs to go. I think most men, or a good majority of men, we should probably might start doing that, but there's no guarantee that most women are gonna play ball and be that person to do it, or to be that woman to what you asked for. She is supposed to be able to fulfill, hopefully. But Kelly, you gotta fulfill your obligations every day, all day, every day, most likely. And they're always gonna criticize you and maybe go as far as in a relationship. So when you don't find someone that fulfilled their end, I mean, it's a problematic thing, man. It's very problematic, like really problematic. Anyhow, we're gonna continue. Let's continue, guys.
being married for the sake of just
Societal, because society says you.
Well, because religion,
Yeah.
I think you really have to have a relationship with God and see how God is moving you. And sometimes it's not going to make sense to anybody else. And that's okay. It's not for it to make sense to anybody else. You just have to be in tune with
Prior
God's
to
telling
you being married
Yeah.
to someone, a minister,
Yeah.
you being in the being a woman of faith,
Yeah.
belief,
Yeah.
would you have felt this way had you not grown through that? About not necessarily like being married.
Oh no, I think I still would have been like, no, you get married. It says in the word, y'all better work it out. You better figure it out. You better do something.
Okay.
And I think if you can, you should.
Right.
But again, I think that sometimes God moves us in ways that it may seem contradictory to other people's perception or how they see or read the word or literally what it says. But I think that's why we have to be very clear on having a relationship with God,
Right.
not just a religion with God. We have to be very clear on hearing from God. And that's got to be the compass, period. The relationship with God, and not the relationship where you're not really hearing that and you just want to do what you want to do and you want a reason to do it or an excuse to do it, but really knowing if that's what you're hearing God to tell you to do, no matter what anybody thinks or anyone says, you got to move the way God's telling you to. And that's just that.
Outside of your closest friends, your support.
Before we continue this, like I said before, at the end of the day, when relationships end, or let's say a marriage is about to end, right? And you talking about, say, you're holding the vows, yes, which is cool. I appreciate that. You work it out like most adults. We're supposed to work out our problem, our difference, rather with each other, or we get a special counselor that'll sit there mediate to help air out our grievances. But in my opinion, and I think, to be honest with you, I watched this. I think her and Devon did this, and I think Devon came to the conclusion that this is not going to work in the long run, and he doesn't see himself staying into something that does not suit or benefit him. Because don't tell me that him have that, like most couples, we actually go for issues, and you're not seeking proper counseling or help to grieve. What are your issues? In my opinion. But like I said, when a man ends a relationship, is always questionable. Fair use, fair use.
Do people, or did people know that you had such a close relationship with God?
I think people see what they want to see. If you go back to every men's magazine that I was on the cover of, and you realize that I never wore a bathing suit, I never wore lingerie, and then you look in those interviews from 1999, 2001, 2004, 2000, you will always see that I always said, I am a Christian, I believe in God, I'm not going to do anything that would disappoint God, God is my compass. I've always talked about God. And I think that sometimes when people go, oh, well, it's the cover of a men's magazine. Well, for me, that's not a conviction of mine. I don't feel that God is concerned with what I'm wearing. And so if that is not my conviction, it says in the Bible, he who has faith have it to himself before God. Happy is he who does not condemn himself in what he proves. Meaning, and then it goes on to talk about, if you don't really believe that that's what God approves, then you are sinning. But if you really believe that between you and God, then that's that, period. That's what that is for you. And so that's the tattoo I have on my hand, which even that is like, oh, you shouldn't pierce your butt. Well, for me, it's a reminder to not go too far down the religious rabbit hole,
right,
and stay in the relationship with God. God, what do you say?
Right.
And so for me, I never had a conviction about that kind of thing. My feeling was like, I want to get these words that I'm saying about God and how much I love God and how God is the head of my life. I want to get this to the people who are going to pick up this magazine, because I'm not going to get to them any other way. And most of the other people in the church, they're not going to get to them at all.
Right.
So if I feel comfortable and I don't feel like I'm doing something wrong, then I'm just going to be authentically me, and I'm going to reach other people that other people don't, just by being who I'm called to be and being authentically that.
Before you take a role, do you always pray on it?
Before we go on, let me do this, run this brief commercial. You know the deal.
My money.
I told you.
Where is my money?
Benny. Bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
What do you mean everyone?
Make sure you guys support the channel. Hit the super chat or the cash app, the $ chaos 8 the rain, and make sure you get this video a like button as well. Megan Good sitting down with Shannon, explain about things like spirituality. And like I said, you're spiritual, that's fine to a degree, but really and true, let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. Most people that talk that spiritual nonsense are very much bullshitters, for lack of better words, you know? It's the honest truth, you know? Some of them not about their word. Hell, they're not about anything really, if you say a spiritualist. So anyhow, let's keep listening. Various.
Majority of the time. Sometimes I just feel in my spirit, I'm like, okay, good, I feel good about this. If I'm not sure, then I pray about it. If I've ever felt that God's like, no, that's not what I want you to do, then I just won't do it, period.
Wow.
Even if I want to do it, period, I won't do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's easy. It's easy when you have that kind of faith, and you say you've been walking, since you were about 19?
I've been saved since I was 12.
12.
Yeah.
Lost your virginity at 19. So you've been on this road. You've been on this road for the better part of.
So she lost her virginity roughly 24 years ago. Well, it's better than nothing, man. Nowadays, you know, some of these ladies, you know, God forbid if you even reached after 18 before you bust wide open. I mean, I think when I was coming up, I see some girls lost their jump earlier than that, probably before 16. Even though I hear stories now, some from here that kids that were born in the 90s, especially, and they were teenagers around late 2000s, some even go as far as early 2010s, that they'd be busting it wide open, younger than that now. You know, I heard kids from 8th grade getting it in. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, they turn these young girls and young boys out early. I tell you, my God. But you know, like I said, if you survive up to after so-called high school, and you're 19 before you start give up the goods, and surprise, your name is Megan Good. You gave up the goods at 19. Can't complain there. Anyhow, let's keep going. Ferris.
2 decades.
Yeah.
So the highs and the lows, you never question, like, it's God's will, and you, whatever he decides, whatever his will.
Yeah, I think that I have to accept that, because you can't accept one thing and not accept the
Yes.
other. And so I trust God, and even like, you know, when the divorce happened, I was mad at God. I was
Really?
like, what the hell? Like, I was so mad, but I was just like,
But you never questioned it.
I didn't question if I was going to be okay. I questioned, well, why do it?
Right.
What was the point? And
Allow us
over
to come
time,
together, and then
yeah.
here we are.
Yeah, and then also I was like, you knew this was my worst fear. Like, why? You know, and then, you know, over the years, and it's, you know, almost been like 3 years now. So, over the years, I'm always revealed a lot more. And every time I'm revealed a lot more, I'm just really in gratitude and thankful that I married someone that was so wonderful, and that is so wonderful, and that we had that time, and that we grew together, and just all the things. Right. And so I don't believe that anything's in vain. That's probably the only moment where I was just like, okay, Lord, you know.
Right.
But now I'm like, okay, Lord. Thank you.
The days are warmer, the walks are longer, and one easy way to help your dog shine this season is with fresh, healthy food from Farmer's Dog. Farmer's Dog makes fresh, real food and delivers it right to you.
Wait, hold on, let me fast forward that crap. All right, let's go back. All right, make sure you guys hit the like button, share, stream. You know it is. All right. I should have did some highlight graphics, but you know.
Any actresses giving you tips. I remember I had Terry Crews on here, and he said that he was struggling remembering his lines and going through his line.
Yeah.
And he said, Tashina Arnold said, why don't you sing them? Say, Terry, you like to sing.
Yeah.
Why don't you just sing them? Memorize them like that.
Yeah.
Have anybody given you pointers to help you relax so it just
The best advice I ever got was from Lorenz Tate on Waist Deep. And I was nervous about this scene. I was trying to get into it. We'd already taken like 2 takes. And he just grabbed me. He was like, sis. I was like, yeah. He was like, fuck it. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, just fuck it. And I realized that he was like, just don't overthink it. Just, it's in you. It'll come out. Don't try to get there. Don't try to figure it out. Just live and breathe it, and it's just going to come right out of you.
Right.
And it did. And so now I tell that, you know, when I'm around younger actresses or actors, I'm like, fuck it. It'll come. It's in you. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't in you. So.
I read that you said that, I think you were about 10 or 14, that you've been your family's provider from the time that you were like 14?
To some degree, yeah. I mean, my mom managed my sister and I.
Yeah.
So, you know, we went out, we did our thing. My sister was in a big singing group, ISIS at the time in the 90s, and they had 2 big hits.
Yeah.
And so me and her both, you know, but at a certain point in time, you know, as things fluctuate and things are happening, you know, and for clarity, my father has always paid child support.
Yeah, we don't need to know all that. That right there, that was on the call for. That was unnecessary. I don't know why black women do this dumb shit. Come on, man, please. Listen, when a man is no longer in the picture, that's what most black households think is better, when they don't have no man in the household, so they can do what the hell they want. You see, mother and you and your sister. So it's all 3 girls. So y'all gonna run rampant in the household. No man, not guiding or any instruction or order or instruction. So it's like chaos in the household. Last thing me as a man on here or any man on here, they tell me, I say, yeah, your dad does pay child support. Okay, no ish. I ain't know he even supposed to pay child support. That's some new stuff to me. But god damn, yo, this is ridiculous. Anyhow, sorry guys. Various. This is just uncalled for.
Go back and hit him up.
No, we have to be clear. My dad is always paying child support. But yeah, for a long time, a lot of the income that was coming in the house was
Generated by-
primarily just working.
How did that
So-
make you feel? I mean, because like I remember growing up and working, I was making $25, $30 a week, working 5.5, 6 days a week. And I remember coming home and giving my grandmother $10, $15. It's not much, but it was, and I looked at myself like, man, I'm 9, 10 years old. I'm a provider. And it gave me a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
And to this day, that's what I am. I'm a provider for my family. Did that give you a sense of accomplishment? Because you're a child. At the end of the day, you're still a child.
Yeah.
And a lot of what's coming into the home is courtesy of you.
Well, I looked at it like my mother, before that time, had did everything on her own with an older brother who had special needs, and then me and my sister, and then ultimately when she remarried, my stepbrother, and then she adopted my younger sister when I was 14. I was 4 years from being out of the house. And so my mother has been such a provider for everybody on every level, that it was nothing for me to want to do it for her. And then also, again, she was doing the work. She was managing us. And when me and my sister said, can you quit your job? We want to pursue this full time. She had to have enough faith to be like, okay, I believe that my children can do it and we can keep this household afloat. So, even when I was working, there was times when I wasn't working and Lamaya was overseas touring with her group, and she would come home and she'd bring her money home. And so our household was just one of whoever's got it, it's all of ours. We take care of each other. We are, a tribe, and we always protect and take care of each other, And so there was definitely a sense of accomplishment, but it also was a sense of like, safety, and just knowing that we always look after each other and we always will look after each other.
You, are there any actors in Hollywood? No, before I get...
But those that's listening, if y'all guys want to give your own take and views of Megan that's watching, send some or say something in the chat room. I'll put the call line, because I think I can go even further and elaborate more on this, but I think it's better for the crowd, regardless how small this channel is, that your voice does matter in, your views about Megan Good, and is she really truthful or is she really playing games? So it's up to y'all. If y'all want me to put the call link, someone in the chat room, let me know. All right, if you want to come up. All right, let's keep going. Various. And to whose concern that is, now, we already know there's been always the gender pay gap between man and woman for a good while now. And let's be clear here. In Hollywood, because we don't run this industry, there are a few black directors and people like the Ty Perry, especially, that has his own studio in Georgia, is able to fund these movies. The movies that she's a part of right now, which I'll tell you what it is in a second, if I remember. That if you're a black actor, there's not really much money into this. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some actors that are exceptional, and if they get the right roles and it blows up, they get more notoriety. Case in point, Denzel Washington. Case in point, what do you call Michael B. Jordan. Case in point, Chadwick Boseman, and case in point, Jonathan Majors. And I can name a few ladies that, let's say, might be making. I think Viola Davis might be doing very well, and same with what's her name? Angela Bassett. But Angela Bassett and Viola have been in business a long time, and they do exceptional roles that credit to what they are worth, and they should get more money, and which they do. But you look at every black actor today are not these type of actors that put in the actual work. And I'm not saying that you didn't put in less work to get the fame, notoriety to really be acclaimed actors where you are paid your worth, is that not everybody that's black is gonna get in, where they're gonna get some piece of the pie. And they're even if they get the piece of pie, they're still shortchanged because they're not getting paid like the same value like their non-black counterparts. So let's be clear. She might have a point that these actors are not getting paid as it seems, and they're doing this and doing hours and not paid the worth. We get that now. We know this now. But let's be honest. Most black people there's two things that you can do as a black man, black woman in society today. If you're here in America, ready, you're going to get rich, meaning you're going to be either an actor, a musician, or an athlete. Those are things that black people hang their hat over and pursue the most in regards to making it not only out the hood, but making it in life. Anything less than that, they're not seeking any other professions that will do just as well or more, depending how you do it. And to me, I think that needs to change. So before I continue on with this videotape, I have to do this because you know what time it is, people.
They be knocking, y'all. The sonic rings up out of it, and you.
Thank you, Tevin, for your donation, your super chat. I truly appreciate it. You probably missed somewhat of a good portion of the stream, but stay tuned, man. Don't go nowhere. Let's give me a little bit more. But other than that, thank you for your contribution, brother. I dearly appreciate it. So let's continue on with this videotape, shall we, guys? Fair use, fair use. God damn. Woo! Whoa. And you've been in this business, baby, how long again? Since you were, I believe she was like 13 going 14. So she was born 1981. So she's been present, active in this business roughly since 1995. Because she said she was like 13 at the time, going on 14. But she did a role on Friday, which I remember, that came out in 95. Now, Eve's Bayou came out in 96, 97, if I remember. But at then, she was already doing these little get-ups. But the actual I saw on a film was in 1995. She was like roughly, let's see, 11, 12. Yeah, 14 years old. 13, 14 years old. Yeah, I'm right. My math was right. You were just turned 14. Goddamn. You've been in this business actively, since we see you on film, just film alone, for 29 years. And now you see, this is what I'm telling you. This is why you ladies need to be around men. John Majors, if you were not in John Majors, if you were not in a relationship with John Majors, listen, if you were not in a relationship with Jonathan Majors, in my opinion, I guarantee you this. You would not have gotten asked how much you were worth to do this role. You would have shortchanged yourself. For you sit there, bawl and cry, it lets me know, baby, without men, you be work for free. Yes, I said it. Without men, especially black men. Black men. Wait, let me make myself bigger. Black men. You be work for free. Yes. That's just the honest truth. Let me read Tevin's comment. Damn, Megan Fox has been in the business for. No, it's Megan Good. Tevin. You're confused.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
It's Megan Good, Tevin, not Megan Fox. God, you know what's funny? Megan Fox actually was born in 1986. Is she born in 86? Yeah. Yeah, she born 86. So she's only like 5 years older than Megan Fox. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure they're the same height, but yeah, damn. Without men making good, you'll be still out here doing these roles and shortchanging yourself because you don't want to get typecast. You don't want to lose your job. God damn, when you have no options, you have no demands, you have no leverage. It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's continue. Fair use, fair use. And shout out to Shannon, because this is, as much times I criticize, he should have pushed the issue with this interview. I mean, I like it so far. I can't knock the brother. Fair use, fair use. Oh, wait. My bad. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Arrives. And I'm going to say this to all the male content creators, especially. And I know we talk about the female effery all day, every day, and, Black women generally. This is something that we should all do content on. Regardless if it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Hell, I prefer a live stream and an actual critical analysis of the importance that we need our own. And see, at much times, I don't like the direction Tyler Perry takes with his movies, because his revenue comes from Black women, and Black women going to still support his movies because he dressed like a woman. But that's another story. We ain't go to that's not the purpose of today's stream. The purpose is this. This is good. That this Black man does pay the actors what they're worth. You can't take that ish to Universal. You can't take that to Lionsgate. Hell, you can't take that to Paramount. Hell, you can't take that to Hulu. Hell, you can't take that to Amazon Prime. Hell, you can't take that to Netflix. Did I say Netflix? Oh, yes, Netflix. God forsake it if you could make the same amount of money if it's on Tubi. Like literally, Tubi. That is the Black-centric for all Black movies. If you want to watch your content and you want Black people to stand out, go to Tubi. I digress. Fair use, fair use. But really and truly, that's a good look for Tyler Perry to do that. But you see, he is one of very rare not only directors but actors that has his own facility that has the money to pay his actors what they're worth personally. Anyway.
You have this persona. People look at you as like the cute girl, the cute lady.
Right.
You try to live that down.
What you mean?
You cut your hair.
Tevin, if you're in the building, I'm not sure if you could let people know. Let people know if they want to come up. Just post it in the chat room. Matter of fact, I'll do one better. Because you let me check some here. 1 second, bro. I don't think you need it because you're a member, but I'm gonna do this anyway. I'm gonna put the link here. Wait, hold on. Let me do this. If you can repost it, I would surely appreciate it. For anyone that wants to give the input about this stream. I think yeah. If you could do that, Tevin, I appreciate it. Let's keep going. Fair use.
I mean, people saw you.
Oh yeah.
you cut your hair.
Yeah.
Because did you feel that in order for you to be taken serious?
Yeah.
You had to, this was a step.
Well, I had this long kind of hair that I wore often, and I just think that people were like, "Oh, she's the cute girl, the pretty girl, the sexy girl, the girl next door, the love interest." And I just realized in order for me to get out of that space, I had to show up differently.
Right.
And and so that's what I did. And even then, it still was a hard box to break out of, but I look at stuff like Harlem, and it ain't about the way I look at all. It's about who this woman is, and all of her quirks, and all of her truth, and all of her searching and figuring out, and the roles that now I'm getting to play in my 40s. That has been incredible. I think that's the best part too, is like I truly am in the second act of my life, even though I've lived many lifetimes already.
Right.
And I'm excited for what's going to come out of me in this next year, what's going to come out of me in every performance because of the things I've experienced, what's going to come out of me when I have kids, all those things, what's going to come out of me when I'm older woman, when I'm, 60s, 70s. All of that's really exciting to me. So, yeah.
So you're saying when you're ready to have kids, isn't that why Devon Franklin decided to end this relationship, this marriage? Because you and him been together for 10 years, not one kid yet. And now you're saying and here's the word on the street. Even I hear Megan's freezing her eggs too. So it seems to me these modernization women, they're not in the business if they're modern and thinking in action. You dealing with them, they're not gonna have your kids when you marry them or when you're ready. They're gonna have kids when they're ready, and they're gonna wait into their menopause state before they start busting out kids. But let me tell you something, and ladies, listen to me well. Listen good. It is a shame for you as a woman of any age, right, to think that man, no matter what status he is, I can always say his status shouldn't matter, which it could, depend what he does, maybe. Why is it sudden that he's going to take that deal that he's going to take and say, I'm ready to have kids now, and he can't bust and shoot up the club in you? He has to shoot up the petri dish or in a cup just to inseminate to go in some little frozen egg to have a kid. It sounds kind of counterintuitive. It kind of doesn't make no sense to me. And I don't think no regular man, any man of any sense is going to be down with that person. I'm not down with it. I can't speak for other men, but I doubt any man will think that that's a deal breaker. Anyhow, let's keep going. Now, mind you, there's a lot of speculation why she would play this role or take on this role, or Ty Perry reach out to her to do this role because she knows she was divorced by Devon Franklin. A lot of factors go into why would you as a woman, Megan, of all your accolades, would take a role like this. Do you see yourself as this woman that got divorced in the black that happened 2 or 3 years ago? And think it makes sense to, or you see yourself in that character, or you are that character that it makes sense playing these roles? Because a lot of these roles nowadays, if you think about it, guys, they do have meaning to a lot of actors. Not every role actors takes that, we're going to do that, they're going to do or take for the money. Some roles they take by default do have some sense of meaning to them. For those that don't know. So keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Let me check this out. I'm just looking at some right now, guys. All right. No, that's not good. Okay, let's keep going. Fair use. Oh. No, I'll wait till I see. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, I'll do this.
I want my money.
I told you.
Where is my money?
Betty. Bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
What do you mean everyone?
Make sure you guys support the channel. Either cash or super chat. Enable $ Chaos 8 Rand. Support this channel as always, please. And always we try to reach a goal of and I didn't really post it, but I post it anyway. We try to get to 50 contributions at best, $50 or more. We need like 40 more roughly to reach this goal. With your help, with any support, I would surely appreciate it. Any support will be surely appreciated. Yes. I'm waiting. As we wait, let me look at some things right now. Interesting. Very interesting. Anyhow, let's keep going. Fair use. I mean, you should know because you're divorced. Let's be fair, honest. You're a divorcee and your husband divorced you. So who will be rightfully say, if you don't know? It tells me that you're not being honest. I mean, let's be honest. But you know, like I said, you can't tell women nowadays nothing. All right, let me keep playing, and I'm gonna bring up a few people that's in the panel right now. So let's keep going. Farious. It is bad in my opinion. All right, that's it. Now I'm gonna open the panel. What's good, Shatter? Cameron?
Hey, what's going on, bro? You hear me, man?
That's good. How far have you been keeping up with this today's stream? To be honest with you.
I've been checking it, man. I didn't never watch her interview with Sharp, right? So I seen some stuff on there that I haven't seen before. What I get a lot of times where I see where she's talking, where I just, when they talk about the Bible, when they start talking about the astrology stuff, like a Gemini can be this, and I had to put my Gemini face on, which is a Gemini, from what I understand, is normally a two-faced person.
Yeah.
And for them to even say, I'm like, man, you can get a two-faced person in a Taurus and a Leo, or whatever it is, astrology. When they start going to that, especially supposed to be a woman from the church, you start relying so much on that astrology stuff, you just lose me. Because if you're gonna be from the church, because wasn't her husband a preacher?
Her husband is a pastor.
Okay, so you should be from the cloth, and you speaking like on the cloth, and what you felt like this where I went wrong at or whatever. But if you're down with it, you should know that relying too much on the astrologies is not necessarily godly if you're trying to be on that type of level. Yeah, you might have to take it for a role, but you don't want to start embodying that two-faced person just for a role if you're godly. When they start saying the astrology stuff, it really gets me, because a lot of women are really into that stuff a little more than they should be.
Okay. Astrology, as we know it today, is more mumbo jumbo. It's not really actual astrology, personally. A lot of people say that it works for them, but when I look at true astrology, if we want to be honest, to be astrologist, you got to understand all the forms of zodiacs before the Romans came in and started twisted some of the old ancient committed information about certain astrology of deities. There were 13, not 12. The 13th one was a feminine one, which a lot of women think that they said a feminism or whatever they want to call it, but don't even understand the true context of every information of astrology. They only question the astrology today, because if you remove one portion of the astrology, you thus for corrupt all other 12, because everything has a lineup, meaning they align how many days this certain astrology lasts to the next one, and they have to all be centered and move accordingly. And I remember one time I had it on my channel that I talked about this, a particular African man that's in America that really found the actual information, actually broke down the actual astrology, all 13 of them, and give the actual point of the days, how long you are in this particular day or month.
Well, that's the thing too, Chaos. I think we may have talked about that previously. Remember back then, it's been a while back, but remember when they was trying to say they was changing it, right? So people who was let's just say, for example, a person that's like a Taurus or something, and now they a Leo or something, because of the way that they did the dates or whatever. Or if if you use a Scorpio or something, now use a Gemini or now you a Libra, but they try to change the days, and I'm like, how can they, if this day religion right now, I don't subscribe to none of this, but if this day religion, how you gonna change up the religion in the middle of the thing? If people, like you said, if it's the 12, and I know it was 13, so you just told me something new. I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
But just relying a lot on that, it seemed like, from what I was told in my scriptures and from what my elders was like, relying too much on that, it's like witchcraft. That's what they were saying. It was like, put your faith in God and not in the stars or into some kind of deity of what you is, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you got to be a Gemini, you got to be a two-faced person. Or, you're Leo, you automatically is a leader. Or, now certain signs will give you some certain stuff. Sometimes it feels like, them Geminis is two-faced. Now, we can't take that away, but do I ever put some faith in that now? Because, it's some Gemini women that was some great women to me. You know what I'm saying? So I can't necessarily say that. Everybody got their own thing. To put that in there, what she's saying, it seemed like to me she's relying on that. And that could be a very dangerous woman if she's reading that horoscope every day and she put more faith into that than her husband that's the pastor of the church. What would the elders and grandma and them, the leader of the choir, would say, oh, yeah, pastor wife is going with this Gemini thing now. And, that's part of her thing. Like, well, hold on now. Pastor wife on to the astrology? Like, I thought she supposed to be with the scriptures. So you got to choose a struggle now. Come on now.
Yeah, you're right. All right. But like I said, the astrology piece, it's been corrupted. It's been it's beyond not interpret properly, but once you start messing around and you start take away deities because it's not based on a masculine principle, it corrupts the whole thing. And I know I don't talk about this much because people think when they come watch this channel, it's all about the women, which it is in some case, but it's beyond that. You're going to get some. You're going to at least learn some if you're going to watch and consume this content on the Chaos Rain channel. I will tell you the honest truth. I don't sit there and try to fabricate and kiss ass roughly. I don't do that. It doesn't suit me, bro. So rather a few women that still rock with this channel or not, it is what it is. You get me? I mean, you gotta be as a person know if you come to listen to content for safe havens, I would tell most people generally get off the internet.
Pretty much, man, because if you walk around in life like that, right? If you just expect everybody in life to agree with everything that you may say or that they may say, and like that's not how stuff work in life. You know that. We know that, right?
Yeah.
So just to imagine it in, the social media or whatever, what they call this online, how can you expect it to not be anything different? As a matter of fact, I say it's going to be 10 times worse because what is removed, like Kevin said, right? The threat of physical violence.
In some way, yeah. In some way.
I'm just saying, like, men don't go to the bar and sit there and talk crap to another person, not thinking, okay, we all in here drinking. As men, if I talk crap to this person or whatever, we gonna have to fight. Because if he came up to me and talked crap to me and I don't even know you, we gonna fight. That the threat of physical violence is there.
Oh yeah, obviously, of course, yeah.
The keyboard thugs, the online thugs, the people that get on a high horse and talk about other people, like that, like they ain't gonna never come and see them in real life. That be the stuff what I be talking about. And for this girl up here, she had a great career, man. She still doing a lot of things, man. Megan Good. I actually was a friend of hers on there. I done hit her up a couple times, and she responded. Back in the days when she still was married to the dude, I remember when they first got married. She was my friend on Facebook at that time, and I had chopped it up with her. I even congratulated her on her marriage or whatnot, and she's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I seen the people. Tyrese was in there. You know what I'm saying? A couple of other people from Hollywood that she have done pictures with was in there. You know what I'm saying? Congratulating her as well. But she very, very open woman. Let me just say that because I never expected. I thought it was a community page, so it was actually her page because I hit her up. When she hit back, I'm like, normally celebrity chicks don't hit back like that. But I was just congratulating her on her marriage, whatnot. And to see it go out like it good now, I would never thought that she would have got with Jonathan Majors, even if she divorced old boy. I couldn't have just pointed Majors as like a dude she would have just shot at like that. You know what I'm saying? I would have never, saw that.
Is that me?
No, I was just saying,
you're gonna have to repeat your sentence because you stopped for a second.
No, I was just saying, I had never saw that she would have just went and got with Jonathan Majors after she got divorced. I don't know. Did she take half? I mean, I don't know if the pastor. I'm sure he probably got some big bread. Did she take half in that, or was it amicable? Or I know California got some of the worst marriage laws. So I don't know. Did she take half? Do you know? Because I would be like, okay, in terms of marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did she leave with? Did she leave with her purse, or did she leave with, half of the house, half? That's what I would be thinking.
I'll say this: the marriage dissolved. That is all. Anything of any backlash or anything of who got more out of the deal, most like the public will got a good ideal through the newspaper or any information that they search for. If there is documents, which most are when you divorce, is usually for the public to consume, roughly. I think that's how it goes. And I'll be honest with you, she probably walked away clean. He walked away clean, and they moved on. It was nothing really of any distribution of any form of money or currencies or even property.
Did they have any kids?
Nope. And that's one of the reasons why the marriage is no longer existing.
Okay. Well, there you go right there. See, now
that's... And a lot of people say that's not the reason. I say, listen, no man is going to divorce no woman if everything was okay, like it said. And not only that, there's no children out of that whole outcome. A man, let me say this. If I was married, you married, I don't give what it is. If we've been in a relationship and it's approaching 10 years and there's no kids, either two things going to happen. Either I don't want kids, which most men might not want it. If he has kids, but Devon has no kids. So I don't see him as a man married to this woman and don't want kids.
Yeah.
And here's the funny thing. When Megan got married to Devon, they were just in their 30s. So that gives plenty of time. She's saying that out of this whole interview,
she Hollywood,
out of her own mouth says she expects kids one day. She already made the process of freezing her eggs when she got divorced from Devon Franklin. So it tells right there she wants to have kids on her own terms.
Yeah.
And to me that's not how things work. If your husband, if you're seeking kids at the end of this, you're not gonna stay in no relationship this long with no man. I don't care what it is. Or you can go around and you're gonna sleep out and you're gonna come out pregnant and that be the end of it. We'll say everything and we'll cuss you from the child of God. But we all know saying that if you've been in a relationship for more than 5 or more years and you didn't pop up with no kid, one of the two things that come to my mind is that you don't want no kids or you don't want kids with this dude.
That's my point.
Especially if your woman don't got no kids.
Because if she don't have no kids, right? So if she don't have no kids, but that's what I'm saying. You're exactly right. But that's what I'm saying. That's in a normal relationship. But we have to put Hollywood because now her image is what she sells. And so if her image is now pregnant, happy, married with the Christian husband, gonna be there. If she choosing to try to leave him, after this, it might look bad. So in her damage control, especially being a Hollywood woman, she could just say, well, you know what? I don't want to get pregnant right now because it might affect my roles. This is my prime. I don't want to get saddled with no baby where I gotta, 9 months, gotta do that. My body gonna change. Or, she might be like, well, I don't want to go and do no work after. I won't raise my baby, this and that, take about 2 years off. So that's 3 years you done took off. You might have missed that movie that you wanted to get. Somebody else got it. So it's a Hollywood wife. You got to, understand that. But, at the same time, if you gonna freeze your eggs, well, that's letting you know that she already wants on her terms, because had not been for her not having the kids, because if I'm the preacher, man, you my wife, man, the honeymoon, you already pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I'm put all my money into this. Man, please, what we talking about? You know what I'm saying? This my wife. I'm put the ring on her finger, because men, we do all that. We the one that buy all this stuff to do the wedding. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you can put the ring on, you invest in your time, you're going to have a child about it. That's the biggest investment you can ever have. So you got to be ready for that. You know, that's a woman that you really love, that you really want to be with the rest of your life. And that's sometimes some people believe in divorce, some people don't. But I mean, you know, if it's a domestic violence type of thing, maybe, you know, understand. And if your woman is cheating on you or, you know, whatever, yeah, of course. You know, same thing women, you know, your old man cheating on you, okay, whatever. All right, you got the PI to fall in there. But, you know, most of these arranged marriages nowadays, you know, I see all the time. They know what each other doing. They don't care. So, you know, it's a money thing or whatever, you know, or it's open marriage. But I would never participate in the open marriage, because at that time now we just getting tax benefits off each other. What's the use of doing the marriage then? You know, they need to bring marriage back properly, because they ain't done it right now. That the state didn't got it, and we trying as men try to get some kind of, at least some kind of backbone to put some kind of protections in for us, make it fair at least, because we see what the judges do when you get in there. You better have Johnny Cochran, man, because they gonna give her your money, and he's gone. You can't get Johnny no more.
I'll say this, Shatter. It's not the Lord that should be the concern for a lot of people that get divorced, right? The biggest concern most people should worry about, especially men, right, is that if she decided to dip on you, there are many factors going to that. You get me? That, and she planned out accordingly, you know. But most likely, in the case of Megan and Devon, he pulled the plug because this marriage did not suit him, and she's not always going to go into the details. We could conclude why it ended, because there's always a pattern. And one thing, I will do this. Let me see if I can find the picture now. I'm going to share the picture. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Again, you could talk a little bit as I'm trying to find this picture.
No, I was just saying, you know, with the Hollywood marriages, you know, and you might not see a lot of, you know, I know all is public, you know, but sometimes, you know, you can see the wife might assume the property, this and that. But me personally, she could have just went on ahead and did what she did. If that was my wife and we hadn't had no kids and she was on the Hollywood blast and whatever you was doing wasn't agreeing with what I'm doing, we amicably split it. Now that's cool. That's what it should be. That's why I asked if did she go in there and just clean the man out, because she had more money than him, unless he had some mega church, because Megan Good been in movies and making money for years. You know, she's not no poor woman that needs no help from no man. She's a strong Black independent woman, right?
Yeah.
So she's got enough money, you know, to where it will be an amicable thing, because once again, it's Hollywood. You know what I mean? And the juxtapose of the Hollywood, you know, you have to always remember that.
Something not right here. All right. Any last remarks? Closing remarks? Wait, hold on. Let me see if anybody's down the bottom. All right. Any closing remarks? And this is a picture of their of you know, or hug up with another dude. But that's another story. Any closing remarks, Shatter?
Yeah, man. The picture, I seen the video. You know, it looks like a Hollywood event, like they normally do, man. They bring out the casting call. And, you know, your chick is Hollywood. She's, you know, she ain't no poo butt. So she done been in the movies with a lot of these cats. So you signed up for this now. And when we do events, you an actor too now. You ain't just some scrub sitting on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
You actor too. So, you know, the the optics on that picture and that video, which I've seen, don't look good. Do I think he's on Swiss Beach level of Usher touching his old lady behind and not saying nothing on Instagram about it? I wouldn't go there totally yet on Majors. Mm-hmm. She might actually, be rocking with the dude. I don't know how they got teamed up, but I know it's Hollywood, but okay. She ain't had no she ain't had no problem with the dude. They didn't ever fight with no domestic violence charges. She moved on, got another dude. Hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the Michael Ealy thing on that picture, he might need to start to kind of clean it up. But, if you're going to do that, man, and your wife going to be out there doing this type of thing and she doing that right in front of you, it might be best that you don't show up at that event. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to give him some advice. If he want to keep it, because I don't know. He ain't me, I wouldn't take it nicely. And it's cool. He may be cool with Michael Ealy. But when you pick a girl up, last time I did that, and I did that in front of a cat. I seen one of my chicks I used to talk to back in the day. I seen in the store, like, oh, we locked eyes. I picked up. And she said, hold on, put me down, because my old man over there, woo, woo. I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, my bad. Oh, you good? Hey, look, what the fuck him? Give me your number. I ain't been seeing you in. Hey, but look, excuse my language. But like I say, shit, that's kind of pick up and twirl he did with that man girl. I put a stop to that. Mm-hmm. I definitely put a stop to that. You know what I mean? But as far as how she done it, like I say, she's a Hollywood chick, and she might have froze her eggs because she didn't want to get fat, because she wanted to get that extra role in whatever new movie insert title here is going to be for the next 4 years in her prime. I can't put it past her, but as a man, you're going to want to have a baby with your wife. That's why you making a family with her, because it's a family. So, I can understand if she didn't want a family with the man, if he wanted to break it off or she wanted to break it off, hey, it's best you do that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of wasting each other time. And that's about all I can say on that.
All right. Yeah, of course. Hold on. All right, so that's it. Thank you for coming up, Shatter. I appreciate it.
1,000, man. Appreciate you having me, man.
Oh, wait. All right, good. Bye. Lena, you there?
Yes. Hey. How you doing, Chaos?
I'm good. Have you catch the stream enough?
Yeah, I catch some of it. Yeah, about Megan's beliefs in her interview. I actually kind of agree with the guy, like, about how marriage has changed. I feel like one of the main reasons why marriage isn't the way it used to be, we took religion out of marriage. It became more legality, as atheism grows and religion is on the, church attendance and other religious denominations is on the decline as far as the meetings. I think that is a
okay.
So many people aren't, married or dedicated anymore like they used to be.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, she was in it, and how can I say this? It's what you make do of it, and I know cheering is always an understatement out of everything, and that's not what it ended to be. And being registered this long for man to pull the plug is a statement itself. So, I get it, but it is what it is at the end of the day, with her. And like I said, the picture y'all see is how she carry on with the other dude around John Matrix, and people know saying, some women just don't learn,
I feel like she really was dedicated to John Majors. I thought she was like beard or something to help, help him get off trial and gain publicity and favor in the Black community. But I really do feel that she really loves and cares for Jonathan Majors because, she stood by him the whole trial, and then it came out, Kwarza kept allegedly, she's the reason why that girl snapped. He was texting her. So I think she actually felt kind of bad. So that's another reason why she was so, loyal and stayed by his side.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is at the end of it. Yeah. Why is it not working? Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's all, Lena? Anything else?
That was my final thought. That's all on the matter. As you can tell, like I'm at work, but I'll be listening and trying to be supportive of our chaos that reigns. So I love and enjoy your content.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Like always. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you coming up. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime. I love it.
All right. Take care. All right, guys. That's it for today's stream. Thank you for watching today's stream. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. The links to follow me are above. Add me on Twitter at ChaosReign7. Add me on Facebook, Eric Reign on Facebook. What else? Facebook. Join Discord servers of the Chaos Reign Show as well. Become a member of the Chaos Reign Show as well. And last but not least, follow me on Rumble. I got some content on Rumble, so all information in the description of this video and many other videos as percent. Thank y'all for listening, and we look forward to reading the comments to this one because this one's gonna be a good one. Other than that, till next time, let it chaos reign.